Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Devedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Parliamentary privileges are enjoyed by which of the following? Members of Lok Sabha, members of Rajya Sabha, President of India, Attorney General of India, committees of the parliamentary houses. So we have to select the correct answer using the codes. C. Members of Lok Sabha, members of Rajya Sabha, Attorney General of India and committees of the parliamentary houses are enjoying the parliamentary privileges which are given to them by the Constitution. But if we talk about President of India, although he's a part of the parliament, he has a separate set of privileges which do not actually come under parliamentary privileges. So the correct answer should be 1, 2, 4 and 5, and that is option C. Moving on. Parliamentary privileges are special rights, immunities and exemptions enjoyed by the two houses of the parliament, their committees and members. The Constitution also extends the parliamentary privileges to those persons who are entitled to speak and take part in the proceedings of a House of Parliament or any of its committees. These include the Attorney General of India and the Union Ministers, and they do not extend to the President of India, who is also an integral part of the Parliament, although Article 361 of the Constitution provides for the privileges of the President. Article 105 of the Constitution expressly mentions two privileges, that is freedom of speech in Parliament and right of publication of its proceedings. Apart from the privileges as specified in the Constitution, the Code of Civil Procedure 1908 provides for freedom from arrest and detention of members under civil process during the continuance of the meeting of the House or of a committee thereof, and 40 days before its commencement and 40 days after its conclusion. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding National Family Health Survey. It is a large-scale, multi-round survey conducted in a representative sample of households throughout India. An International Institute for Population Sciences, Mumbai, is designated as the nodal agency for the survey. Which of the statements is or are correct? Both are correct. The correct answer is option C. Recently, the latest data from the NFHS has been released, which is a large-scale multi-round survey conducted in a representative sample of households throughout India. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, has designated the International Institute for Population Sciences, Mumbai, as the nodal agency for providing coordinated and technical guidance for the survey. The survey provides state and national information for India on fertility, infant and child mortality, the practice of family planning, maternal and child health, reproductive health, nutrition, anemia, utilization and quality of health and family planning services. Each successive round of NFHS has two specific goals: to provide essential data on health and family welfare needed by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and other agencies for policy and program purposes, and to provide information on important emerging health and family welfare issues. The funding for the different rounds of NFHS has been provided by USAID, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, UNICEF, UNFPA and MOHFW, that is the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Consider the following statements regarding STEM. The STEM acronym was introduced in 2001 by scientific administrators at the US National Sciences Foundation. In India, STEM, the primary concern is to raise the number of women graduates in STEM and inculcate scientific values in them. So we have to select the correct statement. First is correct, second is not, because there is no primary concern with respect to women graduates, but the proportion of the number of people as graduates in STEM. So first is correct, second is not. The correct answer is option A1 only. Recently, India-Israel Women in Science and Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Conference was held. The STEM acronym was introduced in 2001 by scientific administrators in the US National Science Foundation. In India, STEM, the primary concern has never been with the number of women graduates, but with the proportion of those who ultimately land STEM jobs. STEM is a curriculum based on the idea of educating students in 4 specific disciplines, including science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in an interdisciplinary and applied approach. India is one of the countries that produce the highest number of scientists and engineers. The growth of STEM has picked up significantly over the last few years. About 43% of STEM graduates in India are women, which is the highest in the world, but their share in STEM jobs in India is a mere 14%. Greater women's participation in the tech sector will make women more strong and influential, giving a boost to their socio-economic situation in the society. Moving on. The Tundra satellite system recently in the news is associated with which of the following countries? The correct answer is option E, that is Russia. Recently, Russia has successfully placed into orbit a military satellite. The satellite is believed to be Tundra satellite, part of Russia's early warning anti-missile system named Kupol or Do. Tundra satellite system is a constellation of missile early warning satellites established by Russia between 2015 and 20. It carries a secure emergency communications payload to be used in a case of nuclear war. It is a series of satellites that are the next generation of Russian early warning satellites to replace the early warning satellite of OKO-1 system. Moving on. Which of the following are the possible implications of the K-shaped economy? An upper income households likely to benefit from higher savings, and households at the bottom are likely to experience a permanent loss of income in the form of jobs and wage cuts. So, if we have to select the correct statement, both are correct. The correct answer is option C. A K-shaped recovery happens when different sections of an economy recover at starkly different rates. Households at the top of the pyramid are likely to have seen their incomes largely protected and savings rate forced up during the lockdown, increasing fuel in the tank to drive future consumption basically. In other words, upper income households have benefited from higher savings for 2 quarters. Meanwhile, households at the bottom are likely to have witnessed permanent hits to jobs and incomes. What are the macro implications of K-shaped recovery? Upper income households have benefited and households at the bottom have experienced a permanent loss of income in the form of jobs and wage cuts. This will be a recurring drag on demand if the labor market does not heal faster. If COVID-19 reduces competition or increases the inequality of incomes and opportunities, it could impinge on trend growth in developing economies by hurting productivity and tightening political economy constraints. Moving on. Consider the following statements regarding International Tourism Mart. The International Tourism Mart are organized in the northeastern states on the rotation basis. The event has been planned and scheduled to facilitate interaction between buyers, sellers, media, government agencies and stakeholders. And Nagaland is hosting this Mart for the first time ever. As we have to select the correct statement, all are correct. The correct answer is option D. Minister of State for Tourism and Defence Shri Ajay Bhatt addressed the opening session of the second day of 9th International Tourism Mart for the Northeast region at Kohima, Nagaland. The International Tourism Marts are organized in the northeastern states on a rotation basis, and the event has been planned and scheduled to facilitate interaction between buyers, sellers, media, government agencies and other stakeholders. Nagaland is hosting the Mart for the first time, and the earlier editions of this Mart have been held in Guwahati in Assam, Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh, Shillong in Meghalaya, Gangtok in Sikkim, Agartala in Tripura, and Imphal in Manipur. Consider the following statements with respect to the sessions of the Parliament. Summoning of Parliament is specified in Article 85 of the Constitution, and the joint session of Parliament is mentioned in Article 108. As we have to select the correct statement, both of them are correct. The correct answer is option C. The winter session of the Parliament will begin from today, and it is scheduled to conclude on 23rd December. Today, Farm Laws Repeal Bill 2021 has been listed and passed without any discussion in the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha. The summoning of Parliament is specified in Article 85 of the Constitution, and the power to convene a session of Parliament rests with the government. The decision is taken by the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, which is formalized by the President itself, and in whose name MPs, that is the members of the Parliament, are summoned to meet for a session. India doesn't have a fixed parliamentary calendar. By convention, Parliament meets for 3 sessions in a year. It is not at all provided for in the Constitution. In Article 108, the Constitution of India provides for joint sitting of the Parliament's 2 houses, the LS and the RS, in order to break any deadlock between the two. Consider the following statements with respect to the Omicron variant. WHO has been using Latin letters to refer to the most widely prevalent coronavirus variants, and WHO best practices for naming new diseases suggest avoiding causing offense to any cultural, social, national, regional, professional, or ethnic group. So we have to select the correct statement. The first statement is not correct because WHO has been using Greek letters and not Latin letters for naming the most widely prevalent COVID variants. Second is definitely correct. That is why I did not use the name she and nu. Why? Let's know it. Second is correct. Option B. While picking a name for the variants of SARS-CoV-2, the World Health Organization has so far skipped 2 letters of the Greek alphabet, one of which also happens to be a popular surname in China, shared by Chinese President Xi Jinping. WHO has been using Greek letters to refer to the most widely prevalent coronavirus variants, which otherwise carry long scientific names. It already has used 12 letters of the Greek alphabet before a new variant emerged in South Africa earlier this week. WHO selected Omicron for this one instead of nu or she, the 2 letters that preceded. WHO best practices for naming new diseases was developed in conjunction with FAO and OIE back in the year 2015, which suggests avoiding causing offense to any cultural, social, national, regional, professional or ethnic groups. The Cherry Blossom Festival and the village of Kongthong recently in the news belongs to which of the following states or union territories? There has been a correction made, pardon for that. So the correct answer to this question is option A, Meghalaya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed gratitude to the people of Kongthong in Meghalaya for a special tune in his honor and in appreciation of the government's efforts in promoting the village as a prime tourism destination. Kongthong is a small village which is nestled in the Khatar Shnong area on the way to Sohra in East Khasi Hills, about 60 kilometers to the south from Shillong. The place is famous for its unique culture, panoramic view, and virgin beauty. The village in Meghalaya, more than its nature surroundings or natural surroundings, is talked about with its unique tradition known as Jingarwai Lobi. In this, a mother assigns a tune or a lullaby to a child within a week of birth, which becomes his or her unique identity instead of a name. In 2019, Rajya Sabha MP from Bihar, Rakesh Sinha, had adopted the village and had also suggested the UNESCO tag. The Prime Minister also praised the recent conducted Cherry Blossom Festival in Meghalaya. Moving on, consider the following statements with respect to the National Cadet Course. The NCC was formed on the recommendation of H.N. Kunzru Committee 1946 and the NCC falls under the purview of the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is headed by the Director General of 3-star military rank. So we have to select the correct statement. The NCC was formed on the recommendation of H.N. Kunzru Committee is correct of 1946 and it falls under the purview of Ministry of Defence and not Home Affairs. First is correct, second is incorrect. Third is definitely correct. The correct answer should be 1 and 3, that is option B. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had greeted the NCC cadets on NCC Day. NCC Day is celebrated every year in 4th Sunday in the month of November and in a tweet he said, inspired by the motto of unity and discipline, NCC offers a great experience to the youth of India to realize their true potential and contribute to nation building. NCC was formed in 1948 on the recommendations of H.N. Kunzru Committee in 1946. It has its roots in the British era uniformed youth entities like University Course or University Officer Training Course. The NCC falls within the purview of Ministry of Defence and it is headed by Director General of 3-star military rank. It enrolls cadets at high school and college level and also awards certificates on completion of various phases. Moving on, consider the following countries. We have to select the countries which have a border with South Africa: Botswana, Eswatini, Tanzania, Mozambique, Zambia. So Botswana does have a border with South Africa. So does Eswatini, that is Swaziland actually. So 1 and 2 are correct. But Tanzania doesn't share a border with South Africa and Mozambique has a border with South Africa but Zambia does not. So it should be 1, 2 and 4. That is option D. Karnataka has sought a ban on flights from South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana to keep the Omicron variant of COVID-19 from entering the state. South Africa is the southernmost country in Africa, the largest city in Johannesburg. It is bounded to the south by coastline of South Africa, stretching from the South Atlantic and the Indian Ocean, and to the north by neighboring countries of Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and to the east and northeast by Mozambique and Eswatini, former Swaziland. It surrounds the enclaved country of Lesotho. Moving on, as you can look from the map. Moving on to the practice question, consider the following statement regarding Namda craft. Namda is a local term used for traditional felted wool floor coverings made out of coarse variety of wool. Srinagar in Kashmir and Tonk in Rajasthan are the two major Namda making centers in India. So we have to select the correct statement. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.